Hello and welcome to another new day, another new recipe, and here am I, your cooking friend, because I make cooking easy for you and I make sure that all what I do here gets transported into your own kitchen. It should be like I'm standing right next to you and you're cooking. So what are we waiting for? Let's cook. Alright, this seems to be a quinoa craze these days. Everybody's just talking about quinoa. Everybody's just talking about, okay, this new superfood, super grain which has come out now. What is quinoa? Well, quinoa is actually from the beetroot family. It's a South American grain. It's very, very rich in protein and it's very easy to cook. Well, India has started to import quinoa now, and well, it's very easy to get quinoa these days. So we are actually going to make a quinoa risotto with some hazelnuts. Wow, fancy. Quinoa, onion, butter, bay leaves, hazelnut, thyme, salt, pepper, risotto rice, white wine. So what I'm going to do is, do 2-3 things at one time. One is that we're going to actually tell you how to cook quinoa. So the first part of the quinoa cooking is obviously washing it, and we got to wash it twice, thrice. And then I'm going to just make a liquor, not the liquor, but a flavorful liquid which is going to have some salt, some pepper, some thyme. I love thyme. Some bay leaves. I'm just going to crackle them and just let this water boil. Once we wash this quinoa, we're going to actually just use it in a manner that we make risotto, but I'm going to just add up a little bit of risotto rice for the body of the dish, and I'm going to use the rest of it as quinoa. So about 80% of quinoa and about 20% of risotto rice. I have with me some hazelnuts. Now hazelnuts, lovely nuts, nice and nutty, but here real time hazelnuts. Just going to toast them a little bit. I just want them to be lightly toasted so that, once they already have an intense flavor, but just want that, that nice nutty flavor to come out. Once that happens, I'm going to just bring them out to a chopping board, all right, and just roughly chop them. Okay, so these hazelnuts are done. The pan is nice and hot. I'm going to use some olive oil and saute the onions in that. So I have with me some chopped onions. Now once this water is boiling, I need to then remove the thyme and the bay leaf from it, because they obviously would have done their task. They've given the flavors and they now no longer need to be in that water. That flavorful liquid which is flavored with thyme and bay leaf, I'm going to use for cooking the quinoa. I'm also going to add some white wine into this liquor, into this flavorful liquid, I must say. The liquor just sounds very daru types. All right, so the onions are now nice and kind of sauteed, a little bit brown. Then I'm going to go with this washed quinoa right in, not wasting any bit of it. Oh, look at that. It's It's actually a beautiful grain. It just kind of, is so full with energy. That's why it's picked up to be a very, very popular grain. So whilst this is happening, I'm going to keep adding a little bit of water, just like the way we do a risotto, and keep cooking. This is going to get cooked for a good 4 to 5 minutes. The quinoa is going to actually swell up, and when it swells up, it starts giving out that little bit of that white tail kind of a look, and that's the time when you know the quinoa is getting cooked. We had added a little bit of salt into the mixture, but with the quinoa, we'll just need a little bit more. At this stage, I want to add some veggies to it so that the goodness of the quinoa also gets the goodness of the vegetables. So just some diced peppers which are going to go right in. Some diced yellow peppers right in. Okay, you can see that quinoa is kind of getting swelled up. It's the whole quinoa is kind of bursting out with that white, little bit of that tail kind of thing coming out, and that's when you know it's about 5 minutes away. Now I have with me risotto rice, which is just about done, about 80% done. So I'm going to add a little bit of risotto rice here, so that you kind of get a texture of quinoa as well as a little bit of that rice. And I'm going to flavor this with some apple cider vinegar. Just about 2 spoons of it. The risotto rice is just about to get cooked. It needs a little bit more stock for sure. And the cider vinegar has got that very little sweetness and a bit of that tart. That's working well. And the whole starchiness of the risotto is going to kind of combine the quinoa together. The peppery taste of the yellow peppers is all just coming together. Some chopped parsley at this stage will really help in the flavor. I generally use flat leaf parsley. It's much more flavorful. It's much more, aromatic. Okay, so now we are at the end of a risotto, and that's the risotto style, the sanctum risotto style. Now this is a healthy risotto, so I'm going to probably just use half the amount of butter, not the amount of butter that a risotto gets, but a whole lot of Parmesan cheese for sure, because that is flavor. And just do this a rigorous activity to bring this risotto together, which has got quinoa, it's got peppers, it's got thyme. Lovely. All right. This comes directly into a bowl. No fuss. Looks pretty. The white, the black, the yellow, the green, it's all looking good. There you go. And now is the time to top it up with some creme fraiche. Now this is fresh cream which is whipped and comes a little thick, so just like a blob going on top, which will find its way right down to the entire risotto. And guess not, we shouldn't forget these lovely hazelnuts, which are going to go as a topping. A little bit of green, and we are done. Quinoa risotto with some peppers, hazelnut, and creme fraiche. This is easy, this is heartening, this is lovely. Well, I can only say that I can teach you how to cook, but the flavors is something which I can definitely tell you how they are. Let me tell you that the creme fraiche and the hazelnut bring in a divinity, a certain character to the dish. This is mind-blowing. You have to try it. Bye.